Hello, and welcome to the Reykjavík Newsdesk. I'm Andie Sophia Fontaine, and these are the weekend's top stories in Iceland. If you like the content that you see here, be sure and like and subscribe. And if you really like the content that you see here, check out the Patreon link in the description below to see what kind of goodies you can get just by kicking a little extra coin our way. But now, on to the news. Scrapie, a degenerative disease of goats and sheep, has been cropping up in numerous farms across northwest Iceland. Scrapie is transmissible and there is no known cure. Typically what they'll do when sheep are diagnosed with scrapie is they'll just kill the entire herd, unfortunately. Now scrapie, while it's uncommon in Iceland, it's not super rare, and when it does happen, as I said, it can be devastating for Iceland's sheep farmers, and they have been asking repeatedly for another solution to the problem other than having to kill their entire stock. So in order to abate this, the Minister of Agriculture has asked the founder and CEO of Decode, Kári Stefánsson, to begin research. Specifically, this research would take samples from sheep all around the country to try to isolate the genotype that's resistant to scrapie. And if things go well, perhaps we'll be able to build up a population of sheep who are resistant to this horrible disease altogether. And hopefully this research shall begin very, very soon. The Icelandic Coast Guard reports that they caught a Norwegian trawler in Icelandic fishing waters in a forbidden zone where foreign ships are not allowed to be fishing. The Coast Guard contacted the captain of the ship, who confirmed that they were indeed fishing. And so the boat was impounded and taken to Reykjavík Harbor. Now, the Icelandic Coast Guard says that they're taking the matter very seriously, but generously, they are giving the benefit of the doubt in saying that they don't know whether or not the ship was knowingly fishing in Icelandic waters. So we'll see how this investigation turns out. Lastly, the mystery of fossilized footprints on the island of Surtsey has finally been solved. Now, as you're probably aware, Surtsey is one of Iceland's baby islands. This was formed by an undersea volcanic eruption, which lasted from 1963 to 1967. And since then, biologists and geologists have visited the island, and some of them have noticed fossilized footprints on the island, which is, interesting because fossilization takes a very long time, as you probably know. So since these footprints could not have been any older than 1967, how did fossilization occur? Well, a research paper on this subject basically contends that the geological processes that happened very, very slowly elsewhere in the world happened very quickly on this tiny island. And that's a gross oversimplification of what the paper actually says. I've linked to it in the description, though, so you can read the entire thing. But I thought this bit was particularly neat. To wit, intense erosion of the tuff cones has exhumed the tracks to the surface that stand today as a testimony to impressively rapid geological cycles for preservation and exhumation, and the role of unstable and rapidly changing environments, the aftermath of high-energy events in capturing and preserving ichorites, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. These boot tracks are the first fossil tracks described for Iceland and the first record in the world of boot tracks preserved in sedimentary rocks. So there you have it. The world's youngest fossils found right here in Iceland, everybody. How about that? In any event, that's all I have for you today on the news desk. If you like the content that you see here, be sure and like and subscribe. And if you really, really, really like the content that you see here, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Which reminds me, I want to thank Corinne Vasquez, Marion Ward, Christopher Hunter, and Marion Moores for being patrons on the $20 level, Laura Johnson for being a patron on the $15 level, and Stephen Ellis and Vivi Carvalho Schaffner for being patrons on the $10 level. You folks rock. That's all from me. Be good to each other.